In this video, I'm going to continue working with sets using their methods and operators. As you can see, I have a few sets created here, and the first methods that I'm going to show return a new set instead of operating on the set directly. So I have placed this into a result variable, and I will output the set in the result variable. So right here, I will put in my set1, and the first method I'm going to show you is the difference method. And if I hover over this, it says that it returns the difference of two or more sets as a new set, i.e. all elements that are in this set but not in the others. So if I were to pass in my set 2 here, and we look at the elements that are in these two sets, it says that it's going to return a set that's in the calling set, so my set 1, that are not in the sets that we pass in. So in this case, there's a 3 and a 4 in my set 1 and a 3 and a 4 in my set 2. So it's going to remove this from my set 1 and then just return a set containing the values 1 and 2. And if I run that, we'll see that we get the output here of a set containing the elements 1 and 2. Now we could also do this difference by using the subtraction operator. So if I did a minus my set 2 and ran that, I would get the same output of a set containing the elements 1 and 2. The next method is the intersection method. So if I type that in, mouse over it, it says that it returns the intersection of two sets as a new set, i.e. all elements that are in both sets. So this is going to return a set that contains any elements that are in both of these sets, which in this case would be 3 and 4. If I run this, we'll see down here, I get the output of a set containing the elements 3 and 4. And the operator to do this same thing without calling the method is the ampersand. So if I did my set 1 and using the ampersand my set 2 and run this, I get the same result of 3 and 4. The next method that I want to show you is the union method. And the union method returns the union of sets as a new set, i.e. all elements that are in either set. So if I were to pass in my set 2 here, it's going to return a set containing all the unique elements between these two sets. So it's going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5 and 6. And if I run that, we'll see that I get the set with the elements 1 through 6. For the union operator, it is the pipe character. So if I did my set 1, pipe my set 2, and run that, I get the same output of a set containing the elements 1 through 6. The next method I want to show you is the symmetrical difference. The symmetrical difference method works like the difference method, but it returns the symmetric difference of two sets as a new set, i.e. all elements that are in exactly one of these sets. So basically, it's going to return elements that are in either one of these sets, but not both. So in this case, with my set 1, and if I pass in my set 2, 1 and 2 are the unique elements in 1, and then 5 and 6 are the unique elements in 2. So this is going to return a set containing 1, 2, 5, and 6. And if I run that, we'll see down here that we get the set containing elements 1, 2, 5, and 6. The operator to perform symmetric difference is the caret symbol. So if I did my set 1, caret, my set 2, I'll get the same output, a set containing the elements 1, 2, 5, and 6. There are also methods to perform these same 4 operations that I just showed you that operate on the set in place, meaning that it changes the set itself and does not return a new set. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my result variable here as I won't need it. And I'm going to do my set 1, and I will use the difference update method as an example. And if I hover over this, it says it removes all elements of another set from this set. So now when I call the difference update using my set 1 and I pass in my set 2, instead of returning a entirely new set, it's going to remove any elements that are in my set 2 from my set 1. So it will remove the 3 and 4 from my set 1, leaving my set 1 just containing elements 1 and 2. And if I output my set 1 here, we will see that that's what I get is a set containing elements 1 and 2. And if I wanted to use an operator to do this, I would do my set 1 minus equals, and then my set 2. And then you see I get the same output of a set containing the elements 1 and 2 here. And this works the same way with the intersection, union, and symmetric difference that if I wanted to do the operation in place, I would use the ampersand equal for intersection, the pipe equal for union, and the caret equals for symmetric difference. And for the intersection and symmetric difference, they both have an update version of the method that operates on the set directly. The union, however, you would just simply use the update method. Now I want to show you some methods that return Boolean values. So I'm going to put my result variable back in here. And I'm also going to put my result variable back in the print statement. And the first one that I'll show you is the isDisjoint. So I'm going to put my set1.isDisjoint. And if I mouse over this, it says it returns true if two sets have a null intersection. So this is saying that it returns true if the two sets have no elements in common. So if I were to run isDisjoint with sets my set1 and my set2, it's going to come back false because the 3 and the 4 are common between the two sets. And when I run that, we'll see that we get the output false. However, if I were to pass in my set4, which has no elements in common with my set1, I'll get the output true. The next method is the isSuperset method. And if I hover over this, it tells us that it reports whether this set contains another set. So when I call the isSuperset method using my set1, if the set that I pass in as an argument contains all the same elements as my set1, this will return true, but if it doesn't, it will return false. So my set1 is the superset of my set3 because all the elements in my set3 are in my set1. So if I were to pass in my set3 here and run this, we'll see that I get the value true back. Now, if I were to say my set3 is a superset of my set1, it's going to come back false because this 4 here is not in my set3. And the last method I want to show you is the isSubset method. So if I type in isSubset here and mouse over it, it tells us that it reports whether another set contains this set. So my set3 contains the elements 1, 2, and 3. So if I were to pass in my set1, it's going to check to see if my set1 has all the same elements that my set3 has. So in this case, it's going to be true because my set1 does in fact have 1, 2, and 3 in it. Now, if I were to pass in my set2, which does not have 1 or 2 in it, and run that, I get false.